Is Nintendo Switch Online worth $20? Are loot boxes gambling? Those topics and more in Super Nicktendo Direct. Hey guys, Super Nicktendo here, and this is the first Super Nicktendo Direct where I take a handful of topics and give you my direct thoughts. So Nintendo Switch Online, is it worth $20? Nintendo a couple of days ago announced that starting in September of this year, we will get the privilege of paying $20 a year for stuff that we kind of already get for free. Basically, in exchange for $20 a year, we get online mode, online chat through the online app, and some eShop deals, and also some online classics. So $20 a year, which comes out to a little less than $2 a month, that sounds like a pretty good deal, but I just don't feel like I personally need another online service. I mean, right now there's only 3 games for the Nintendo Switch that I can think of that actually would utilize that. One game specifically, Splatoon 2, uses the voice chat. The rest of them, Mario Kart and ARMS, don't really use voice chat. So Nintendo's gonna have to sell me on it. I know that it's only $20 a year, but that still seems like a lot for a little. And basically because Nintendo's been behind the times on online services before, so it's going to have to be a wait and see. I'll definitely check it out and see if it's worth my $20, but for now, I'm not really sure it's going to be worth $20. What do you guys think? So in other Nintendo news, what the hell is Mario Kart Tour? Basically, Nintendo also announced that they would be releasing a mobile Mario Kart. Now, this could be anything. This could be a Mario Kart companion app. This could be a Mario Kart RPG. Really, who knows? I mean, are you going to battle against your friends if you meet them on the street? That would be really cool. But I'm just holding reserve and judgment. I'm not too excited about it. Nintendo is definitely dabbling into the mobile market, which is great because it shows that they're aware of new trends and they're willing to actually put their IPs outside of their own original hardware. But until we actually figure out what Mario Kart is, I'm not really sure I'm going to buy it, because Mario Kart, in my opinion, just belongs on original Nintendo hardware. We already have a mobile version in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe for Nintendo Switch. We also have Mario Kart 7. I really don't think that we're going to see a mobile Mario Kart on your Apple iPhone or Android device. I just don't see that happening. But maybe we'll see a phone case in the shape of a wheel or something like that so we can use motion controls. So let's switch gears and talk about sealed games and their value. Now, do you guys collect sealed games? And when I say collect sealed games, I mean games that are over 20 years old. Games that aren't found at Walmart anymore, that you can't actually buy them brand new. You're going on eBay, you're going on to collectors forums, and you're picking up sealed games. I'm personally not in that camp, mainly because it's really hard to tell if the sealed game is actually sealed. And also, the premium between a sealed game and a mint in box game is so grand that it's really not worth the money, because I want to play those games. Now, there are a couple of exceptions to the rules. I bought Shaq Fu and E.T. Both are sealed. Both are notorious games. They were very inexpensive. I paid $9 for E.T. and $13 for Shaq Fu. And also, Shaq Fu comes with a free rap CD, so I couldn't have passed this up. I mean, both games are really notorious. It's not like I'm going to play these games anytime soon. It's just really cool to have these games sealed. But for the most part, I'll definitely seek out games that are open. But sometimes when I buy brand new games, I don't have time to play those games, so I'll just keep those sealed until the time is right. So let me know what you think about that in the comments as well. Alright, let's talk a little controversy. Loot boxes, are they gambling? There's 2 camps really to this. There are people who believe that yes, these are gambling and they should be regulated. And then there's the camp that believes no, you're making a mountain out of a molehill. You totally have the choice on whether or not to get those loot boxes. They aren't gambling. Now, I'm kind of in between. I don't think that they are gambling, but I do think that they are predatory and they definitely prey on people who have compulsions to always get that nice item. When you're spending $1 or $2 or something like that, it's really easy to nickel and dime somebody, and essentially by the time that you get actually what you want, you've paid a lot of money for something that's digital. I think that hopefully that the ESRB will regulate these, because it definitely needs to be seen. Because you have a game like Star Wars Battlefront 2, which is rated T for teen, and 13-year-olds can get into that. They have access to the credit card that's on file, or they don't actually tell their parents of what they're using that money for, and then all of a sudden they have a really big bill at the end. And I really think that's something that, to play with a young mind is very predatory. And I understand, like, if you're an adult, if you're 18, you can spend money on whatever you want. Like, you can go buy scratch off lottery tickets, you can buy all this other stuff that is damaging to your health, and that's your choice. But once you're below 18, it's kind of a morally gray area. So let me know what you think down in the comments below. Should loot boxes be banned, or should we at least know if there's loot boxes on the back of the box? Alright, next topic. This is a little Nintendo heavy. Will there be a Nintendo 64 Mini this year? I really don't think so. I think that we're only going to see a refresh of the Nintendo Entertainment Classic Mini. They said that they were going to ramp up production this year. I think that we're going to see a Nintendo Classic Mini Deluxe, and that's going to come with 2 controllers. It's going to cost a little bit more, but at least the controller cords will be longer, and you'll probably see the same game library. I'd be very surprised if they change up the game library to kind of spite those who thought that the Nintendo Classic Edition was only going to be that and that's it. So I think it'll be the same games, only 2 controllers, but everything else will be the same. But a Nintendo 64 Classic Mini, now will that come in 2019? I really don't think so. And the reason why is because there's going to be a Nintendo Game Boy Mini, but it's not going to be a handheld. It's going to be like the Super Game Boy that will have like an HDMI down here, and you can have a little controller port, and it'll have like a weird little Game Boy controller that you can play, and it'll probably have about 30 games, and use all the Super Game Boy technology in there, where you can change the color palette, keep the color palette the same, and go and play 2-player games side by side. I think that's where Nintendo is going with this. I don't think that we'll see a Nintendo 64 Mini, simply because you kind of need 4 controllers for that to actually have a good experience. A lot of Nintendo 64 games were 4-player multiplayer, and I really don't think that Nintendo would release it with just 1 controller and then have you fight over the controllers in the future. And I just think that since we only saw 21 games with the Super Nintendo Classic, I don't think that people are going to spring for 15 Nintendo 64 games. I'd be very surprised if they put more Nintendo 64 games on it than they did Super Nintendo, just because of the size limitation. But that's just me. I could be wrong. Let me know in the comments what you think. Do you think that we're going to see a Super Game Boy Classic, or do you think we're going to see a Nintendo 64 Classic after this? Okay, last topic, kind of a bonus topic, is the Solo, a Star Wars trailer reaction. Now, I'm actually excited for this movie. I wasn't beforehand. I saw no promotional. I mean, Disney kind of kept us in the dark, and then they all of a sudden just dropped the trailer on Super Bowl Sunday, and then on Monday they released an expanded trailer. So now we kind of get to see what this movie is, and I'm interested in seeing it. I was a fan of Rogue One. I know a lot of people were kind of apprehensive about it. So the big controversy is that Han Solo doesn't look like Han Solo in his younger years. And I mean, that's kind of a given. You're really not going to find too many people who look like a young Harrison Ford, because of just the way that the time difference in between all of these movies. So I'm not too broken up about it. But what I'm really excited about is Donald Glover as Lando Calrissian. Now, this looks like the role that he was born to play. I mean, if anybody's going to be a young Lando Calrissian, it's Donald Glover. We haven't heard him speak yet, so we're gonna see exactly like how he goes into this character, but I'm kind of excited. It'll be really interesting to see where they take this movie. I know that Rogue One was a tonal shift from the rest of the trilogy, but this looks like it'll definitely take more of a leap outside of the Star Wars trilogy. I'll be really surprised if people go into this movie and then come out saying, this is exactly what Star Wars is going to be, because I'm pretty sure that it's not. A lot of people are going to be kind of disappointed that it doesn't have that Star Wars charm, and I think that's going to be a really good direction for Star Wars going forward. So that wraps up the first Super Nicktendo Direct. What did you guys think? Do you think this is a good format? Should I add more topics? Should I cut down more topics? Let me know down in the comments below. I definitely want to start doing this on a weekly basis, just to give you thoughts on some subjects that are going around in my head, but I can't just make into a full episode. So I like to put them all together so that way I can share them with you and you can interact with them and, you know, share your thoughts as well. Be sure to follow me on Twitter at Snicktendo. If you're new here, please subscribe, and if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. I'm Super Nicktendo, and I'll see you next time.